Hey guys, Avilo here, and guess what this video is about? It is about me, and my casting, and commentating tournament games, commentating games, period. You may have noticed there's a little bit of drama today because, the whole, somebody being an arrogant douche, kicking me out of a lobby for while I was casting the game. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that much because that doesn't matter. And those people, people, you should not be. If somebody's casting games, you shouldn't be, trying to get more people to not cast. Like it's just all stupid. It's funny that the base trade TV guys, Rifkin obviously holds a grudge against me. But it's funny that he kicked me out of a game when he started casting, he was doing, qualifiers and community tournaments and stuff too. It's very, very hypocritical, but, whatever. But the thing is, here's the thing, guys. I knew this was going to happen eventually. I told you guys in the past couple months that when qualifiers came up for WCS, I told you guys, I might actually start doing a lot more casting of tournament games, and I mentioned that I would slowly, at a snail's pace, transition into doing more casting, and always in the back of my head, because StarCraft 2 is so the politics of the game are so stupid, and the way the StarCraft 2 community is for anyone that wants to do anything in StarCraft, it's really bad. But of course, I knew something was gonna happen. It may have not even been Rifkin. It could have been somebody else. I knew there was gonna be something that if I started casting games and started, visibly doing, eventually this was going to happen one way or the other, and that's just the way it is because that's the way the StarCraft 2 community is. It's a very self-defeating type of community, and certain people want to hold their piece of the pie, and they don't want anyone else to get a piece of the StarCraft 2 pie, and it seems that way for... Obviously, Rifkin was very threatened by me having the audacity to cast games. Well, guess what, buddy? Deal with it. I'll be casting games in the future. You might have to deal with me in the future. Deal with it. Don't be a baby about it. That's all I have to say about that. But guys, I'm going to be casting more games, so people are going... this is just a fact. How old am I? I'm fucking 28. I still play StarCraft every day. My wrists are still pretty good. Occasionally, sometimes I feel a little bit of, sometimes I do feel a tiny bit. But anyways, just because of what I think about the game and the state of the game, and also because I like I said, I've been planning to do this for months, and it was gonna happen, and so today the qualifiers, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start casting some games today again, just like I did during the last many WCS qualifiers. I was casting games of players, and so it's something that I plan to do very slowly. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop streaming or anything. Don't worry if you watch me for my stream antics and raging on ladder and whatnot, or just commentating and having fun on stream. I'm still gonna do that, of course, but I also want to get into more professional commentary in terms of analytical commentary, commentating games. I think something that's really missing right now from StarCraft 2 is really in-depth analytical commentary. Some of you guys, when I've been casting these games, I've noticed, I've been making some really good calls in games of what players will do down to the point of where today I was casting a game of Neuro Zerg, another streamer, who was playing in the qualifiers against Rogue, a Korean Zerg, and they were playing a ZVZ. And my game knowledge is to the point, even ZVZ I understand very well, and Rogue actually put down a Roach Warren. Neuro built a Baneling's Nest, and Neuro got some lings into the base of... he started getting lings into the base of Rogue to scout, and I immediately said, once he scouts the Roach Warren, Neuro is going to have to cancel the Baneling Nest and build a Roach Warren himself, and well, what do you know? Literally, the instant that Neuro scouts Rogue's Roach Warren, he immediately cancels his Baneling Nest and builds his own Roach Warren, because I know the game at a Masters, Grandmasters level. With all three races, Protoss, Zerg, Terran, I've played all three races at Masters. I've beaten GM players with every race, in every matchup, PvP, ZVZ, TVT, every matchup in the game, ZVP, PvZ. I understand this game very well. So I feel like, that's a reason, that's a good point to my casting. I feel like I'm very analytical and I understand the game incredibly well. You may notice when I cast games, there's very little balance whining, if any. Maybe I'll mention what's currently in the game that people are using, that it might be imbalanced, that the meta is very centric around. But when I cast, I try and be very objective and analytical. I try and be funny too, and obviously there'll be different situations when I cast they'll try and make funny, but when I cast, that's how I cast. I try and give you the thoughts of the players, what they're thinking, what their next move will be, what if you see something, what this means, what the player sees, what he thinks that means, what Neuro saw and what he thinks that means, what he needs to do next, or what he should be doing, or what the other player, the misinformation he's giving that makes his opponent react in a certain way. Like all of the very psychological aspects of the game, from scouting and everything, I do that when I cast, and I think I'm a very good analytical caster. And I think the last good player caster that we've had in terms of like analysis has been Nathanius for StarCraft 2. The last caster I can think of that played the game at a very high level. Obviously Nathanius is Masters Terran and pretty good off races too, from what I hear. So obviously, but who else? There's not many high level casters with the amount of knowledge that, besides him, that I can think of off the top of my head that are in Masters League or GM that have beaten pros on the ladder before. I've beaten pros on the ladder before. I've done that. I can't think of anyone lately that fits that, and I happen to fit that. I have all of this game knowledge that I can afford people, and that's why I would implore people that even if you haven't listened to me cast before, I would implore you to listen to my casting, and even if you don't like my stream per se, listen to when I cast games, and you'll see the analysis I'm doing, and maybe you'll like listening or watching my stream as well. But you'll notice that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the game. I know what I'm talking about for all three races, and it should show, or you should hear it when I'm casting games. So yeah, I'm going to be getting into casting more and more in the next couple months, little bit by little bit, and people are gonna have to deal with this. And if Rifkin and ZG can't stand a little casting, some competition coming in, that's too bad for them, because I want SC2 to be in a live game. I want it to have more viewers, and I'm gonna be casting games, so they're gonna have to deal with it. So don't be jackasses. Please don't do that shit. I've never. The funny thing is, I saw some post on Reddit. Someone saying about someone trying to defend Rifkin using the argument that oh yeah, Avilo has raged and BM'd a lot of players before, and they wouldn't want him to join games. Funny fact is, there have been players that I've BM'd on ladder. Before, and when I've asked them, hey, can I cast your next series, your game, they always let me. And I think a huge reason for that is they've probably A, heard me, B, they want the exposure, because I have a lot of viewers on my stream already, can only get bigger. But C, if people have heard me cast before, you guys will know I am always, regardless of how I act on stream for BM or whatever, you do not have to worry a bit. I am always respectful when I cast games of players that are trying their hardest to qualify for a tournament. I'm very respectful. I may make jokes during the cast, but it's not at their expense. It's always within the context of the game going on at the time. I even compliment players when they're playing really well or making really good decisions and stuff, and I don't let the other thing is, so here's the other thing that I think, if Rifkin watches this, you shouldn't let personal grudges get in the way of your work or whatever, or other stuff with the StarCraft 2 community, because I think that's the thing. He has a personal grudge, so he was kind of an asshat, and he just kick me out of this game because, you know, like somebody else is casting. Oh no, fuck! I'm gonna lose my no, like don't. Oh, just don't do this. Don't do that. But yeah, I'm gonna be casting, so people can get used to that. I'm always respectful to players and compliment them in games and stuff. And I've never had a problem for the games that I have casted. I'm not just talking about yesterday either. I'm not just talking about like the DreamHack qualifiers. Hopefully, I can cast more of the qualifier games tomorrow. I'm not just talking about the games today, but even in like the last couple qualifiers, I did cast some games of those. You can find the VODs probably are still up on my on my Twitch, but I've never had a problem. Never had a problem with a player not wanting me to cast them. So, anyways, I'm just trying to think of what else to say here. There's a lot of drama today. It's really ludicrous. It's ludicrous. That's all there is to it. It's kind of ludicrous that, once again, the thing is, the main thing, I find it hilarious that somebody that has come up as a community caster himself is being that much of an asshat to somebody else that's also doing community casting of the games and doing casting of games. It's sort of hypocritical, and it's nonsense. But the other thing is, so anyone else that listens to this video, for now, assuming that I'll be able to cast games tomorrow in the future, just so that none of this drama stuff happens, which I'm happy to not let any of this stupid drama stuff happen. I don't like it anyways in the first place. But yeah, if you are a tournament organizer, or if you're like for the weekly cups and whatever, like, put me on your official caster list, por favor. I believe I emailed somebody about this a while ago, and I'm gonna have to send out some more emails, but just letting it be known, like, yes, I'm a legit caster. I'm not just some dude that joined the game and is observing. Like, that's not like, I'm legitimately casting and commentating these games. I have experience and the knowledge doing this. So yeah. But anyone get into contact with me, whether you're a small tournament or big tournament, and vice versa. I'll get into contact with you most likely. And that would be great. So, like, hopefully none of this BS drama stuff that, you know, I don't want some of your some people to go full NA like Rifkin did today. I mean, that's kind of his own fault, to be honest, but it'll help avoid these things, like this kind of stuff in the future. It's common sense in the first place, but some people don't have common sense. Isn't common, and, you know, should all be nice to each other, guys. All right, please, just other casters. I'm going to be casting the game too. You know, now I'm gonna be working my way up. Just deal with it. I mean, you can get mad all you want, you can hate me all you want, but I don't give a fuck. I'm Avilo. I'm gonna cast the game. I'm gonna provide people with the in-depth analytical commentary that has been sorely missing from StarCraft 2 lately. And yeah, I'm gonna go in depth, man. I'm gonna analyze this stuff, and it should be good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think of my casting. Once again, go check my Twitch VODs. You can see some games that I've casted from today, or rather yesterday, a couple hours ago. Let me know what you think. People have already given me some feedback in terms of, like, moving the mini-map or moving the screen around too quickly, which I've heard in the past. That's something that I can't help too much, but I'll try to move the screen slower. And obviously, I'm going to try not to mention too much stuff during casts about imbalance, but I'm Avilo. I'm real. I'm myself, man. I'm myself, man. I'm going to be very objective in terms of my analysis, casting, and when there's obvious, if there's an obvious thing in the game, and it's very obvious that I can point out as a caster, For example, I casted a bunch of TVTs, and every game is dominated by the guy who makes more Tankovacs wins. If there's something like that, I'm going to mention it during the cast. And I know some people get a little mad at that, like, why are you talking about imbalance? But it's something I believe as a caster needs to change with StarCraft 2 to make StarCraft 2 great again. Casters need to not be afraid to talk about things that are imbalanced. Because, and here's why, and if you do not talk about some things, and I'm not saying you should, because don't get me wrong, your personal preference should not, get into a cast always, but there are some things that should be mentioned. For example, things in the game like Invincible Nidus Worm has little to no counterplay. Tier 1 Overlord drop. I saw today Jim Rising, he was playing against Terran. His name escapes me. I think it was Coda. And he was playing against him, and he won the game with the Mass Queen Ling Overlord drop, things like that, or Parasitic Bomb. All the things that casters need to talk about this stuff. It's a fact. Like the times of pretend, and the big reason. Sorry, what I was getting to. The big reason casters do need to mention such things that may be not good for the game design-wise or imbalance-wise is because if casters are willing to mention it in a cast, it gets fixed a lot sooner because Blizzard is more willing to fix it because it's more apparent, because people are watching, there's viewers, they can see this, they can see, oh, every game is Tankovac TVT, or oh, Raptors, or Mass Adepts. Remember when Mass Adepts, every game was Mass Adepts, and I feel like casters have had their mouth shut a lot of times on that stuff because they don't want to be afraid, they don't want to get fired or whatever, but that stuff, when I've watched other pro games being cast, best example, once again, I can give is League casting. They will mention, or even Heroes of the Storm casting, if you want to use a Blizzard game. Trying to get on Blizzard's good side. But if you want to use a MOBA for an example, like Heroes of the Storm, or League, or even Dota, I hear the casters all the time talking about, like, oh, this champion is really strong, really imbalanced right now. He has something that's too good, and so he'll probably be banned out this patch. We'll see how the draft works around that, or in the game, stuff like that, like where they talk about the meta and what's going on with the current game, and some things that are probably too strong, like the tank meta in League, or Heroes of the Storm. I think there was a stun meta. Like, stun meta is pretty strong, or was in the past. I don't know how it is now. I haven't kept up, but it should be fine to mention that stuff in your. It should. I would implore other people that are casting, for things that are blatantly obvious, like Invincible Nidus Worm. These things should be mentioned because the sooner they are, the sooner they get fixed, or the sooner Blizzard is encouraged to address them. So yeah, that's the last thing. So I'm always gonna keep it real in my casting. I'm gonna do my best. And once again, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. In the next couple months, I'll be doing more and more. I'll get better at it. I already think I'm a very good analytical caster, but I'll keep working at it little by little. And now it's just a matter of putting in the time. So you'll see this whenever you see, if you see qualifiers for a tournament, you might see me casting it. If you go on Team Liquid or you go on Twitch and there's so and so weekly cup, you might actually see me casting some game. You might see Avilo there. You'll be like, what the hell? What is he playing? Oh, whoa, he's casting. So I'm just telling you guys now so you're not like, whoa, what is going on? Expect it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, leave comments, and I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to cast more games tomorrow. If not, then it's whatever. Like I said, I knew when I started to do this more and more in any capacity, I knew people are going to try and stop me. I knew it. Because that's, I knew it. So I hope people get the picture now and realize, no, you're not going to stop me from doing it. I'm going to keep casting games, and I'll get more notoriety as caster, and I'll get, people will listen to my analysis and be like, damn, he knows his shit. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody. Peace! See you guys later.